This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you for joining. Can you hear me? Please confirm. Okay, thank you. So let us start. In the last session, we have learned how to create a pod, and we also have seen how to perform port mapping and how can we access the pod. How can we access the pod from the URL? We have created Jenkins pod and access. We have discussed about how to access Jenkins pod from the URL. We also have opened the ports. Okay, so this is what we have discussed in the last class. Let's have a continuation of last session. So today we'll be discussing about replication controller. Today we'll be discussing about replication controller. Now, what is replication controller? It's a high-level object. Pod is the lowest level of object. On top of pod, we have replication controller. Used for handling multiple replicas of a specific pod. Like how in Docker Swarm we are creating multiple containers. So here we are creating multiple pods. What is the purpose behind this? The purpose behind this is performing load balancing and scaling. So this replication controller object uses replicas, keywords called replicas templates in the specification section. Look at the specification section. We have some keywords called replicas and template. In the replication control, what kind of object we are creating? Not a pod. As of now, as in Kind, we have learned how to create a pod, but in the Kind, we are not creating a pod, we are creating a replication controller. In template section, you give metadata to the pod. In the template section, we give metadata. Please observe here in the metadata, under template section, in the metadata, I'm giving the name to the pod. I'm giving name to the pod, HTTP pod. In the template section, we give metadata related to the pod, and also use another specification section where we can give the container information. Right, understand? Specification section, we already know this. Specification section contains container information. What container I'm creating? I'm creating a container using HTTPD. Container runs on 80 port. I'm mapping it to 8080. Using this container, what will happen? Pod gets created. How many pods will be created? How many pods will be created? Look at this. Under template section, metadata HTTP label equal to other. That's fine. Replicas, what we have mentioned 3. As we have mentioned replicas as 3, we have 3 pods that gets created. 3 pods will be created. So this is replication controller. Replication controller is all about performing load balancing. Okay, so let's practically try this. Let's connect to the GCP.
So Sunil, how we will come to know whether the syntax is correct or not?
This is a YAML file syntax. Okay, we have a site, right? YAMLlint.com. I have shown you.
Yes, yes. So we need to check there.
Copy paste the code here and it should successfully run without any
Hmm.
errors. Let's create a custom.
Well, I have a small doubt.
Yes, Dinesh.
Can you go up? Can you open the YAML file? Like, see here for the first specification you have written. See, second specification you have written inside the specifications, right? Like, how we'll come to know whether we need to write like that, or else why you have left space before the specification?
Where space between?
Second specification.
This one.
Yeah, yeah.
The second specification should be in line with metadata. Okay.
Okay. How will come to know that, Sunil? Like whether it is to
Because
be.
no.
Yeah.
Because both are child to template. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're
Okay.
creating a replication, okay,
Okay.
when you're
Okay.
creating a replication,
Okay.
you need to create it. You need to mention the template. According to the template only, it gets replicated. Okay.
Okay,
So in the
Sunil.
template, it should be matched with the specification. So
Okay.
this all part of the
Okay, Sunil. Is there any site or else how will I mean like if you want to as a beginner if you want to know
documentation.
how will
Kubernetes
documentation?
documentation.
Okay, Sunil. Site any particular site, Sunil?
Mm, no, no. Oh, sorry, Dinesh. Go with documentation. So today's plan is to complete a replication controller followed with one more concept called replication set. Okay, and then we have deployment object. The next object is deployment object. Okay, a cluster is created. Connected to cluster. We have created a folder called sample files. These are our definition files. Let's create this replication controller. Escape colon WQ to save and quit. kubectl delete all pods will delete all the pods in case if there are existing. There are no pods. In case there are pods, it will delete all pods. kubectl get pods, no pods. HTTP DIN, the default port is 80. I have marked it to 8080. Am I right? So we need to open the 8080 port at the host level. So this is the command to open the port. I already have opened the port. I don't need to open the port again. kubectl create -f. What's the file name? Replication -controller.yaml file. So when you run this, how many pods will be created? We should get how many pods? 3 pods. Why do we get 3 pods? Because in the replicas, how much we have mentioned? 3. So let's do this. Created. Replication controller has been created. So kubectl get pods. Previously there were no pods. Previously there are no pods. Now how many pods are created? 3 pods are created. Clear? We have created 3 pods. Each pod is running on which node? For that we should get the wide output. Pod 1 is running on this particular node, second node, third node, or every pod is equally distributed. The load is equally distributed. Am I right? So can I check this HTTPD? So get the node, take any node external IP. External IP is nothing but the public IP. Colon we have mapped to which mod number 8080, right? Will you able to get the it works. This is the default page of HTTPD. That's the default page of HTTPD. It is working. So we have seen a replication controller. First object, the lowest object is pod. On top of it, we have created a replication controller. Replication controller is performing load balancing and scaling. Okay, clear? Let's delete the replication controller. When you delete the file, the replication controller will be deleted. Deleted. So we have understood, I hope you have understood the concept of replication controller. For performing load balancing, when you want multiple pods, then you go for replication controller. Replica set. Let's move to next concept called replica set. This is almost same as replication controller. Replication controller is replica set is almost same as replication controller. Okay. Now what is a minor difference? Let's try to understand. Dinesh, your question is what is the use of pod? Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
What
sir.
is the use of container? Tell me.
Using container, we can create a new Ubuntu machine.
That's the same thing what a pod can do.
Okay.
Okay. See, there's no new functionality of pod. Okay. So pod is as of now equal to container with respect to Kubernetes.
Okay, sir.
Replication set. Pod is the smallest Kubernetes object which we worked on. Yes. Next level we have discussed about replication controller. Yes. Now the new concept what we are learning is replication set is similar to replication controller. Fine. In replica set, the new concept replica set, we have an additional field in the specification section called as selector field. Do we have selector field in the replication controller? We do not have any selector field in the replication controller, whereas in replica set we have another field called as selector field. What is the use of the selector field? Look at this. The selector field uses child element called match labels. Two terms you should look for. Selector field, match labels, where it will search for the pods based on specific label name. In our cluster, Assuming there are already some pods which are running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pods are running. Now my point is, the concept is, using the selector field, it will search for the pods matching with specific label name and adds them to the cluster. So that existing pods will be pulled as a will be included as part of a replication set. Okay, so replication set is almost like replication controller. Only thing what it has a selector field. Okay, we have a selector field, and that selector field is having an element called as child match labels. All this we'll see. Let's try to understand practically. Creating a replica set.yaml file. Name of the file is replica-set.yaml file. For replica set, the API version is API/v1. What kind of object we are creating? We are not creating a pod, we are creating a replica set. In the metadata information, when you're creating a replica set, you know what is the name of the replica set. Tomcat-RS is the name of the replica set which you are creating. Labels. You know labels can be anything. So here I'm labeling as web server and other as Sunil. Specification section. You already have experience in specification section in the replication controller. Specification section is already we have experience. Replicas 3. Here I'm writing replicas 4. What does that mean? 4 Tomcat containers will be created. This is selector field, what I have just read out. We have an additional field that is selector field. The selector field uses child element called match labels. Inside the selector field, do you think there's one more element called child element called match labels? What is the type? In the match label, what I'm doing, type equal to web server. Type equal to web server. Now already if there are some pods whose label is web server, that pods will be added to this particular replica set. Okay. Okay, so assuming there's one pod which is having the label as web server, okay, which has label of web server, so that pod will be included. Actually, how many pods we need to have? 4 pods. So that existing pod will be used, and remaining replica set needs to create only 3 pods. So total altogether we have 4 pods. So that's the use of selector. It selects the existing pod. Under template section, you know what is template is all about. Metadata. Metadata is Tomcat pod, label as type as web server. Specifications are, in the specification we should mention the content information, name of the container, my web server, from the image Tomcat. I think Tom double E. Is it? Let's do it as Tom. Okay. Default port is 8080, mapping it to 9090. Clear? The same as replication controller for creating load balancing. The only thing, it has an additional selector field, so and match labels, and it will search for the same label. If this label is already there, it will be used as part of the replication set. That's it. So let's yes.
Well, can you explain a little bit of practical where we can see this kind of scenario?
Can you explain me?
Any practical? Can you give us any practical example where we can have this replica set?
No, first point, when should we use this concept of replication sets or replication control for load balancing?
Right.
Load balancing we already have learned. Do you remember? Every container can withhold specific load.
Right.
Every container can withhold a specific load. So in the same way, according to Kubernetes, every pod can withhold a specific load. When the load increases, what will happen? pod goes down.
Yeah.
To overcome this problem, we have load balancing in Docker Swarm, where we have created multiple containers. Instead of load balancing, here we are creating a replication set. When you create a replication set, multiple pods will be created and the load will be distributed across between the pods, so that the application will never go down. Okay, because
Yeah.
that's the concept of load balancer.
Thanks, sir.
Hello,
Yes, Akhil.
Sunil. I just confused with this. Like in the above example, like we got like it works right in replicas,
Hmm.
replication controller. So,
Hmm.
but how we can say like it was distributed load?
We cannot see that how the load is getting distributed. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
In Docker Swarm, compare with Docker Swarm. In Docker Swarm, have you
Compare.
seen that which load, which container is taking how much load? We have not seen that.
Yeah. No,
We
but
can
I
see that.
also like Dinesh asked now, what is the importance of pod here? Even in Docker Swarm, we don't have pod, but still we got the same thing, like Docker, I mean,
Yes.
load balancing. But here, what is the essence of it? Only by
No,
architecture
not
or
what is the essence of pod is your tag. Why are we using pod? That's how the architecture is built.
okay, only by architecture we are using that, right?
That's the concept. Inside pod, you
Oh,
have a container. It's a layer. That's it. You cannot avoid
okay,
it.
okay.
Okay.
And what will be the major difference between this like replica set and replication controller?
It's almost the same. The only difference is replica set uses a match labels called web server. Assuming already there is one
Mm-hmm.
container is running with the name web server, that will be added as part of this replica set. So Akhil, how many containers we need? How many containers should be
Four,
created? 4 containers, isn't it?
four, yes, yes.
So already if there is any
Yes,
web
Sunil.
server container, that will be added, and only it will be creating 3 containers that will be added as part of the replication set. That's it.
Mhm. Okay, okay, okay.
Did you understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of creating 4 pods, it uses an existing pod. If that existing
Mm-hmm.
pod matches with the label as
Replica
web server,
label.
label as
Okay,
web
okay,
server. Okay.
okay, Sunil.
Sensor, wanted to know, like, can we use multiple pods for load balancing?
Do we use?
Can we use multiple pods for load balancing, or is it like in
We have
one
to
pod?
use. Then you're using the term called load balancer, then you have to use multiple pods. You cannot perform load balancer using single pod. When you're referring to load balancer, then definitely it should be multiple pods. Now here replication set performs load balancer using how many pods? Replicas I mentioned it as 4. That means using 4 pods. Okay, Prashant.
Yeah.
Whenever you're referring to load balancer, definitely it will be more than 1 pod. Okay.
Sunil, one pod will have only one container, or else you can have multiple containers.
One pod, generally one container, but we can have multiple containers also. When you want to create multiple containers, then you should use Docker Compose feature.
Okay.
In Kubernetes also we have a feature called Compose. Okay, we'll try to discuss that.
Okay, okay, sir.
Oh, replica set created. Get pods. We should get how many pods? Dinesh, how many pods replicas we have mentioned as?
4. It's a parts or replicas, replicas, right?
One replica set. The replica set will have 4 pods. Okay, it's 4 pods, Dinesh.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. See, pod 1, pod 2, pod 3, pod 4. 1 is still pending. It will take some time. The remaining pods are ready. If you want to know the information about the replica set, get pods will get the pods, get replica set will get the replica set. What is the name of the replica set which I have created? What is the name of the replica set? Name of the replica set is Tomcat-RS. Tomcat-RS is the name of the replica set. In the replica set, the desired state is 4. Currently 4 pods are running, 3 pods ready, and 1 is still in the pending state. That's the reason it will take some time. So you can get the information of the replica set by using get replica set. Let's perform scaling from 4 to 6 pod. Replica set is also used for scaling. Scaling is increasing the number of containers and decreasing the number of containers. Option 1, how can you perform scaling? Open the definition file, make changes in the code from 4 to 6 in the replicas field. Okay, so go to the definition file. One way of scaling of containers, scaling of pods. One way is to change the definition file. We already have the definition file, right? Go to insert mode. Replicas, change the code from 4 to 6, escape, WQ to 7, quit. Change the definition file. Once the definition file is changed, last time I have used cube create replica-set.yaml file. Now we should not use create, we should use replace. We should not use create command, we should use replace command to consider the new definition file. I'm replacing the old definition file with the new definition file. As per the new definition file, how many pods should be there? 6 pods. Is it changing? From 4, is it increasing to 6? Yes or no? Yes. We have learned scaling also in Kubernetes. This is option 1. Scaling using changing the definition file. Option 2. If you don't want to change the definition file, you don't want to disturb the definition file, you can also scale up and scale down using the command kubectl scale. First point, what you want to scale? You want to scale the replication set present in replication-set.yaml file. What is the file name? Replication-set.yaml file. You are referring to that file name. -- replicas. What is the current replicas? How many current replicas? 6. I want to change it to 2. First 4, then I have increased it to 6. You can also increase in this way also by writing replicas equal to 6. This is option 2. I'm showing you how can we decrease the replicas using the command. You can change the definition file and replace it. Now also you can change the definition file and replace the replicas to 2. That is one way. The other way is by using the scale command. So according to this command, if you get pods, how many pods we should get? Only 2 pods. Dinesh, did we perform scaling of containers? Did we perform scaling
Yes.
of containers? Yes.
Yes, sir.
by using
So,
replication.
Sunil, I have a small doubt. See, pod will get created automatically when we create a container, like as in
Yes, you're
architecture
right.
inside the.
Yes. As per Kubernetes, think like pods are equal to containers. Pod equal to container. Think like this. Okay, your doubt will be clear.
No,
Bring
pod
it.
inside pod will be creating containers, or else a pod is container. Pod equal to container.
No. Pod inside pod will have container. For simplicity, think in mind that pod is same as container. Okay.
Okay. But we will be creating containers only as per the Kubernetes architecture.
Yes.
First
It
pod
should be
and
inside the pod. We have done it. First example, we have learned how
yeah.
to create a pod, and inside the pod we have created a container.
Yes.
Finished.
Yeah. But now here we are not creating any pod, right? Just we are creating container only.
Hmm?
So here we are decreasing.
In Kubernetes, you cannot see container without a pod.
Okay.
See, get pods. What you get pods? What it is showing? What the command does? Get pods
No.
will show you the
List
pods.
of pods. No, Sunil. In
Now
that
you get
YAML
pods, no?
file, we are not writing any command, right?
In Kubernetes, pod you cannot avoid. Pod is mandatory.
Yes. As soon as in YAML file, have you written that? Script to create a pod, or else it will by default it will create.
By default, it will be there. We
Okay.
have mentioned the specification section about technical details of container. That container will be created inside the pod. Okay, Dinesh.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Is it confusing, Akhil?
So, hello.
Yeah, Akhil, is it confusing?
Yeah, bit Sunil.
Huh?
Yes, little bit.
Okay. Go through the
I'm
video.
having one. Yeah, sure. I am having one doubt, Sunil. When we keep replicas, it is creating pods with container, right?
Yes, you are right.
What if like we need a other container on the same pod?
Yes, we can do that. That we will discuss later. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can do
Okay,
that. We can create two containers of. That's also can be that, but let's not make things complicated. Okay.
okay, Sunil.
So one question I have. Okay.
Yes, Prashant.
So in this situation, I mean, what you have done is to install Tomcat on multiple pods, okay, and
You have installed?
multiple pods, right?
Yes,
So
multiple
those
pods.
are interlinked with each other, right?
Yes,
So how
you're
is the
right.
communication between them?
No, it happens automatically. You don't need to worry about this. Altogether performs load balancing. Okay, Prashant.
So we don't get an overview at all, like in how to manage
We
those
don't
nodes.
need to worry about how the pods are balancing the load. Which pod is communicating to which pod. You don't need to worry about this. It handles by itself. This is replication set. So replication controller both used for performing load balancing, but I recommend you to use replica sets. Okay, replica sets are important. So we have discussed about replica sets. Okay, so three types of components. First we have learned about pod, then we have discussed about replication controller, and then we have discussed about replication set. Next type of component which I want to discuss is deployment object. Okay, see, first we have discussed pod, the lowest object. Replication set, replication control replication set are high level objects over the pod. On top of replication control replication set, we have one more type of object called as deployment object. It's also a high level object which is used for scaling. Scaling we already have done it using replica set, so you can also do it using deployment. Load balancing you may say Sunil, you already have done load balancing. Yes, it also performs load balancing, but the important thing is, the additional thing is performing rolling updates is possible using deployment object. Rolling updates. Okay, Tomcat 1 version 2, other version you want to perform rolling updates. You cannot, you can do it using deployment object. So how can we perform rolling object? Let's try to understand an example. So deployment object is having three functionalities. It can be used for scaling, load balancing, rolling updates also. The quick scenario is create a deployment file. Okay, this is nothing but a YAML file to run Nginx 1.7.9 version. Nginx is a web server, right? With how many replicas? 3 replicas. Fine. Then later perform rolling object from 1.7.9 to 1.9.1. This is our plan. Okay. How can we do it? Let's try. Deployment.yaml file. File name can be anything. API version should be app/v1. What kind of object you are creating? Are you creating pod? No. Are you creating a replication set? No. We are creating a deployment. What's the name of the deployment? Name can be anything. Name can be your name also. I'm naming it as Nginx-deployment. Labels can be user defined. I'm labeling it as Sunil. Type of server, Nginx is a proxy server. I'm writing it as proxy server. Under specification section, replicas. Okay, 3 replicas. Selector field match labels. Under selector field, we can use one more child element called match labels. In the match labels, where I'm selecting it as proxy server. If there are any containers who are already, any pods who are having type as proxy server, that will be part of the deployment object. Under metadata section, we should mention the technical details. Name of the pod, Nginx-pod. Under label, type of the pod, proxy server. Specification section, container, name of the container, Nginx. Image based on 1.7.9 version. Nginx runs on 80 port. I'm mapping it to 8088 port. Any doubts in this? Is it complex or simplified? Tell me. Akhil, is it complex? The definition file?
Sunil, can you come once again?
Okay. Is it complex, Akhil?
No, Sunil, we can read it. I mean, we can understand it.
You can understand, right?
Yeah.
First, okay. Let's have quick revision. API version for deployment object, we should use app/v1 as an API version. What kind refers to what kind of object we are creating. We are creating a deployment object. When you're creating a deployment object, you need to name the deployment object. That name, we write it in the metadata. Label is about completely user defined key value pairs. I'm writing other equal to Sunil. Type equal to proxy server. Labels can be anything. Coming to specification section. In the specification section, so as per the requirement, we need to have how many pods? 3 replicas. So that's the reason mentioned as replicas 3, it will create 3 replicas. Under the selector field, match labels. Type I'm writing it as proxy server. If there is already a pod whose type is proxy server, that pod will be part of this deployment object. Next, coming to template section. Under template section, metadata. In the metadata, we are mentioning the name of the pod, Nginx-pod. Label. Labeling it as proxy server. Under specification section, we should mention the container information. What's the name of the container, Nginx? What's the name of the image based on Nginx 1.7.9? Nginx runs on port number 80. I'm mapping it to 8888. So let's create this deployment object. Save and quit. kubectl get all. Get all will get all the objects. These are all the objects we have one. These are the pods which are getting created. 2 pods, right? 2 pods we have mentioned. We have scaled up from 4 to 6 and 6 to 2. You can see 2 pods are getting created. One service object got created. One replication set has been created. So get all will give you all the information. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create it. Run this deployment -yarn.out. So when you do this, what will happen? The deployment will be created. Deployment object will be created. Deployment is be created. kubectl get pods will get the pods. kubectl get deployment will get the deployment object. So to check whether the deployment object has been created or not, nginx-deployment is the name of the deployment object which has been created. This deployment object is having how many replicas? 3 replicas. So 3 out of 3, all the 3 replicas are ready. So as per this deployment object, we should have 3 replicas. So get pods, we should get 3 pods. We should get 3 pods. Why are getting 5 pods? These 3 pods are related to nginx deployment object, and these 2 pods are related to replication set. Total 5. But these are the 3 new pods which are created as per the deployment object. And we can anyways perform scaling as part of and then we can anyways perform scaling. Apart from that, we can perform rolling update. Scaling anyways you can do it. Now we need to perform rolling object. kubectl get all will get the complete information. Get all will get the complete information. You're getting the information about the pod. You're getting the information about the deployment object. You're getting the information of the replica sets which we have created. That's fine. The complete information you're getting. Now this is the deployment object name. Take a full note of the deployment object. Deployment.apps/nginx-deployment is a full name. Yes, I have taken a note of the deployment object. Same. I have taken a note of the deployment object. Now, performing rolling update. Rolling updates is all about dealing with images. Finally, what will happen? Container should be updated. If you want the content to be updated, it depends on the image. So, kubectl, this is syntax. -- record. What is this? What is this? Name of the deployment object. Name of the deployment object. For the deployment object, set image. This is a syntax. Deployment.v1.app/ nginx-deployment. This is nginx is the name of the image equal to nginx:1.9.1. So when you do this, what will happen? The image gets updated. In the definition, we have used nginx 1.7.9. That will be replaced with 1.9.1. Image updated. kubectl get pods. You're getting the information about the pods. To know more about the pod, describe pod followed with the pod name. The syntax is kubectl describe pod followed with the pod name. So let's take a note of the pod name. Any pod name, let's take a note. This will provide more information. When you write describe pods, it will provide you more information about the pod. Where in which we can see the image which is as updated as 1.9.1. This is the information about the pods. Nginx image. Can you see?
Yeah.
It is 1.7.9. Wait, it should be updated.
I have one more query. So once this is done, I'm just asking this scenario.
Yes. Did you miss anything? Okay. It will take some time, so let's wait. Probably that pod not got updated. The image has been changed to, previously it was a different one, right? Now it was been changed to 1.9.1. So one after the other, the pod gets upgraded. Okay, so what we have done, you have performed a rolling update. Which object is used to perform rolling update? Just a pod. Can it update itself? No. Can you perform rolling update using replica set? No. And you want to perform rolling update, you need to use a deployment object. Yes, Prashant.
No, sir. Regarding this definition file that we are anyways creating a replica of, and then we have an option of match labels that is there. That will
Anyways, we are
help.
splitting.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, please repeat your question.
Okay. Regarding this definition file, we are creating 3 replicas.
Yes.
Okay. So that is as good as 3 pods that comes into existence. Am I correct?
Yes, you are right.
Now we have an option of match labels. When we type proxy server out
No. Slow.
That would,
Your
of course,
volume is little again low again. Replicas equal to 3 will help you to create 3 pods. Fine. Next.
yeah. Post which in fact we have an option of match labels.
Yes.
So and we are typing proxy server out over there. So
Yes.
that would get another pod into this. Would that get another pod into this list if in case it's existing, or else like in
Yes.
how would
Yes, if
it
it is
happen?
existing. In case if that pod is existing, that pod will be added to this particular deployment object.
So this number of replicas would go from 3 to 4 then?
No.
Or is it?
Replicas is final number of replicas will be 3. That
Okay,
means
so
finally
finally
we'll
the
have 3
count would be
pods.
3.
Yeah, definitely count will not be more than 3. Finally it will be 3.
Okay.
Okay. Instead of creating new pods, it uses an existing pod for this particular object.
So what if in case, sir, there is another tool that is running in this? Let's suppose like in Tomcat is a app that is running in the on one of those pods, and now we accidentally go and get that pod out over here.
Yes. No
So
problem.
would that spin up in a container in between? How would it happen?
No, in case generally what happens is if that particular pod is already in use, okay, then that pod will not be considered. And ideal pods which are not performing any service, which is not having any functionality, but still is available as part of the cluster. And if that particular pod is matching to proxy server, that pod will be used in this particular deployment object.
Okay. And sir, is there any option like in where I can orphan a pod out there from this particular list?
Is there any option to
Orphan a pod, like can I detach a pod?
Yes, we can do that. I am not sure. I'll try.
Hey, Sunil, Vikas here.
Because
So I think part of the question from Prashant, I think what I understood is there is a existing pod with the name type equals to proxy server, but that doesn't have the Nginx. That has a Tomcat. Will that?
no, it should be mandatory. Should use the same image.
Okay.
Not just the name. Technically, also that pod should be having the same image.
Okay.
Then only that will be pulled to this particular object. Otherwise, it will not be pulled. It creates a new pod. Okay.
Yep,
so not just matching the label. Technically, also it should use the same image for that particular pod.
Okay.
Then only that particular pod will be as part of this particular object.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so then how the rolling update works, like, so right now we have 3 pods. So is it like sequential? So
You're right.
pod 1 will be updating. And when pod 1 is updating, is it creating the same another pod? So right now we have seen on the another, when you showed us the pod, there were four pod lists with the Nginx name.
So what happens in the rolling update? What happens in the rolling update? As part of this, Vikas, as part of this example of deployment object, we have clearly mentioned as replicas 3.
Right.
That means we should have 3 pods of Nginx.
Right.
Okay. But interestingly, if you see, you're getting 4 pods.
Right.
Right. Interesting. We are getting 4 pods.
Yes.
Am I right? Is it disturbed? At any point of time, one pod will be in 0 state. It will not be running. That's the reason at any point of time, 3 pods will be running. I show it again. kubectl get pods. Now, because we should get only 3 pods. Why you are getting 4 pods? Because one pod is not running. Please observe here.
Right.
One pod is not ready. So finally 3 pods are ready. So what happens? It will perform in a round robin fashion. Okay. It will perform round robin fashion. It will take the first pod, and the first pod will not be working when we are upgrading the image. So the first pod will be down. As first pod will be down, but as we know the desired state is should be always 3. It by default create a new pod for the purpose of performing rolling update. Okay, when the first pod successfully updates, then the second pod will become 0, and then second pod will perform upgradation, and third pod will be 0, and then third pod gets updated. When all the 3 pods are updated, automatically the fourth pod will be removed again. It uses one additional pod for performing rolling updates.
Okay.
Got it, Vikas? And
Yep.
once all the 3 pods are performed, it's upgraded, then the 4th pod will be automatically removed from the deployment object. Okay.
So
All
is
this
that
here,
okay?
yes, Vikas. All this
So
here is taking more time because we have a limited infrastructure. Okay.
okay.
But
Okay.
practically, when you work in projects, they use a very high-speed servers which have more infrastructure, which has more CPUs and more RAM. So all this happens within fraction of seconds. Here we are getting it slow, but practically it will not be as slow as how we are experiencing now.
Okay. So for understanding, I can understand in this way. At any time we are doing the rolling update, it's going to create a one runtime
Additional pod.
Yeah, one more
You're right.
instance,
Yes.
and then when it's done, it's going to take away one. So we're going to get the
Exactly.
desired state equal to 3.
Exactly. You are right.
And the second thing, when we the other command, when we use can you go back to notes, please?
For scaling.
Yeah, V1, you use the V1. Is that a not here down? Yeah, right there. To perform rolling update. Is this V1 is a versioning or it's always standard as V1?
No, V1 is always a syntax as of now. Okay, there's a library called named as V1, so it uses that particular library. Okay,
Okay.
so we have to use V1 as.
Okay. Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you. Akhil.
Hello. Yeah, Sunil. Day before yesterday, I have tried to create a GCP account, Sunil.
Mm-hmm.
It has deducted 1 rupee and again credited 1 rupee to account.
Okay.
But it throwing an error like we are not able to do for now, like that it is showing. I've done 2 times payment, but account was not created yet.
You're not able to log in and start using the GCP account.
No, Sunil. Again, it is showing on top of the GCP. It is showing again to activate. So
Mm-hmm.
when we click on activate again, it is taking to payment mode. So I
Mm-hmm.
already done 2 times payment, but
Okay.
not able to do that. So is there any mistake from my end or how it would be?
No, which card are you using?
Hmm?
Which card are you using? Which bank's card are you using?
SBI. Mastercard only. It is not a Visa card. It is not RuPay.
I checked with a couple of banks. In fact, they have stopped international transactions. They have limited
No,
international.
it already detected.
No, that happens. In fact, that's the reason I'm facing a problem with the AWS account, right? So it deducts the amount, it credits the amount, but it never goes to the payment gateway to the vendor.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets recredited. Try with some other. ICICI, I think it works fine.
So Akhil,
Okay,
try
okay.
with a different bank card or otherwise talk to customer support. Okay.
No, sir,
Okay.
they can't help you out. They can't help you out. They say that it's a bank's problem. Bank say it's the vendor. So it has always between these two guys and they never sort it out.
And Sunil, I have one more doubt regarding Jenkins. Like we have one pending. Like you said, like after completion of deployment to development to production, we need some time. I think Vikas raised this question during Jenkins. Like
Mm-hmm.
how we can set the time for production after. We are
After
done with
completing 4
testing.
stages.
We are
Isn't
done
it?
with testing again while going to production. We need
Mm-hmm.
some time to.
Approval.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
bro.
Approval. It should not go automatically to production. It should wait for the delivery head for the approval, and once the delivery head clicks on approve button, then only it should move to production. Okay. I have
Yeah.
that example. I'll show it.
Okay. Just remembering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So rolling update, we have seen it. Okay. Next concept is compose. KOMPOS is part of Kubernetes concept. It is used for implementing Docker Compose. We have seen Docker Compose, Akhil. Do you remember? What is Docker Compose?
It
Huh?
will link the containers.
Link the containers to create a multi-container architecture in Kubernetes. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay.
So the compose feature in Kubernetes is used for implementing multi-container architecture in Kubernetes. Okay. So Docker Compose concept in Kubernetes is called as Compose. So let's install Compose if you want to use this feature. These are the commands. Search for installing Docker Compose, you'll get these commands. You need to change the permissions to that particular Compose directory. And you need to move some hidden file from one directory to the directory. That's it. To check whether Compose is installed or not. Yes, it is installed. All these commands I got it from the DigitalOcean website. Do you remember a quick recap of Docker Compose feature, what we have discussed in Dockers? Okay, we created docker-compose.yaml file, isn't it, Akhil? I hope you remember. We created docker-compose.yaml file services, MySQL database, and then WordPress and MySQL will be linked with each other, isn't it? Okay, same concept. I'm using docker-compose.yaml file. Let me create the YAML file. To start this services, compose-up. When you use compose-up, this particular docker-compose.yaml file gets created, and this kind of the above multi-container architecture can be done. Why it is giving another?
Something failed out there, right?
Docker compose file. Successfully created WordPress service. Error while deploying application, the server could not find the resource. Deploying application into default namespace. Okay. Let's see. We should have 3 WordPress ports and 1. Here in Linux, Tomcat is not working. So this is not successfully created. Okay, it should run successfully. I'm not sure. Okay, okay, I will check that why this is not successfully creating a multi-container architecture. So Compose is a feature where we can create a multi-container architecture. Okay, in Kubernetes. Okay, so we are unable to work out with this example. Give me some time. Tomorrow we'll see how can we create a multi-container architecture. Okay, actually this will not work because we need to create. So it will not work. Generally, it will not work because we need to create a service object. Okay, so we need to discuss about one more next high-level component, one more high-level object called as service object. Okay, so okay, tomorrow we will continue this and how can we work out with this multi-container architecture. I'll give an example. Okay, so meanwhile, go through this video, go through these notes, and please try to give hands-on on Kubernetes, whatever we have discussed. Any questions? Thank you. Bye, Akhil. Bye, Ananya, Deepak, Prashant, Nafis,
Thank
Vidya,
you, Sunil.
Nishant. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye, Sunil. Thank you.